To be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about
becoming the leader she knows she can be.
and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Disney's troubles just keep piling up, and their upcoming live-action Snow White might be their biggest mess yet. Once the gold standard for family entertainment, Disney now seems to be drowning in flop after flop, losing billions at the box office. Critics blame what they call a woke agenda, while fans argue that the studio has lost touch with what made its movies magical in the first place. The new Snow White is bringing all these issues to a boiling point. Rachel Zegler, the actress playing the iconic princess, sparked outrage by calling the original 1937 film outdated. And now, rumors suggest that Disney is scaling back the premiere event, likely to avoid tough questions and fan backlash. That's a huge shift from the grand red carpet events Disney once threw for its major releases. So, is the House of Mouse so shaken by negative press that it's now hiding from its own audience? This isn't just any remake, it's a reimagining of the very film that built Disney. Back in 1937, critics laughed at the idea of a full-length animated movie, calling it Disney's folly. But Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs proved them all wrong, breaking records and revolutionizing cinema. Fast forward to today, and Rachel Zegler is dismissing the original as extremely dated, promising her version will be more enlightened. That hasn't gone over well with fans. For those who grew up with Snow White, this feels like an outright insult. Like Disney is saying the original story's themes of kindness and hope are no longer valuable. Sure, times change and updates are fine, but critics of this remake see a bigger pattern. They argue that Disney is more focused on pushing modern social messaging than on telling timeless stories. Zegler's comments aren't the only problem. Another major change is fans up in arms. The Seven Dwarfs might be scrapped or radically altered. Reports suggest they'll be replaced by a group of magical creatures, supposedly to avoid controversy. But let's be real, the dwarfs were crucial to the original film's humor and heart. Removing them or transforming them beyond recognition feels like Disney is apologizing for the past instead of celebrating what worked. Fans say it's yet another example of the studio rewriting its own history to fit modern trends. The backlash has been intense. Online, fans are calling the film not Snow White, accusing Disney of betraying its own legacy. Hashtags pushing for a boycott are spreading, with people saying they won't support a version of Snow White that disrespects the original. And they're pointing to Disney's recent failures as proof that this woke strategy isn't working. Live-action remakes like The Little Mermaid, Mulan, and Pinocchio haven't pulled in the massive profits Disney expected. Sure, some made money, but not at the level Disney needs when it spends hundreds of millions on production and marketing. Now, let's talk about this rumored scaled-back premiere. Normally, a new Disney remake, especially one based on such a beloved classic, would get a massive, star-studded rollout. The fact that Disney might be downsizing the event suggests they're bracing for backlash. It also raises a bigger issue. Does Disney even believe in this movie? If they had confidence in Snow White, they'd be proudly showcasing it, not quietly slipping it into theaters. Some insiders claim CEO Bob Iger wants to avoid another high-profile flop after a string of box office failures. Iger returned to fix Disney, promising quality over quantity. But if Snow White is supposed to be part of that plan, it's not looking good. Disney claims it wants to modernize Snow White, but many believe it's doing so at the expense of what made the film special. Instead of carefully honoring the original while making thoughtful updates, it seems they're rewriting the story to fit today's social trends. If Disney truly stood behind this new version, they'd be celebrating it, not hiding from it. A quiet premiere, a controversial lead actress, and drastic story changes all suggest the company knows it's in trouble. Of course, some people will still see the film out of curiosity. But if it ends up feeling like a lecture instead of a fairy tale, the backlash could be even worse once audiences actually watch it. At the end of the day, Disney was built on storytelling, not activism. And fans are making it clear, they don't want their favorite classics turned into political statements. What do you think? Is Disney ruining its own legacy? Or does Snow White still have a chance to surprise us? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more takes on Hollywood's biggest stories. Thanks for watching. Because when a studio disrespects its own history, it risks losing the audience that made it great.